Hello! Holy Toledo! We're back. Hi, Gabby.
Hi.
Hi, we are back. It is good to be back, and we are doing Academy Voices. We're talking about Academy Voices today on Thursday.
Audiobook
Angela usually
Thursday.
joins us, but she is on a Star Wars trek. So she'll be
Wow.
back. Yes, she'll be back tomorrow.
Good for her.
Yes.
Love it.
So, but we are still here.
We are. We
Where's
are.
our
And
Star
man,
Wars trip?
So let's
And then there was we're
listen.
searching.
Listen, I live in the dark side every day. Every day is Star Wars Day for me. Okay. All right.
That
Come
is
to the
good
dark
stuff.
side.
Well,
Yeah.
it's good to see. Yes, we are so excited to be talking about Academy Voices today, and I wanted to chat some about how to price your audiobook services. And moreover, so how does it work? The different ways you can price stuff, what's expected, maybe what's industry standards, if there are such a thing anymore.
I gotta
And-
tell you, I love Thursdays because I am just as much a student as everybody else on the live. So yes, teach us, oh wise one. You are Yoda for the day. Let's go.
So it said you just gave someone. Oh, Emmeline said you just gave someone a heart attack saying Star Wars. You caught that, Emmeline. See, I'm a Star Trekkie. I'm a Trekkie, and I had to say Star Wars Trek. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get hate, man. It's okay. It's okay. I like them both, no doubt. I don't have like one or the other, but I am more a Trekkie than I am necessarily just Star Wars. So,
well,
but anyways,
my geekdom knows no bounds. I like
So, so let's go ahead and dive into pricing, because I will say pricing for audiobooks is unlike anything else in the entire industry.
Damn Skippy.
It is quite different. And interestingly enough, it doesn't change much. I think there was maybe one change price-wise. The pricing has not changed for audiobooks, sadly, for many years.
That's no good.
Many years.
That's no good.
And I think a big reason for that is that the rise in audiobooks has really come hard from independent authors who are publishing their own work. So, you have this meeting of authors who are single business owners themselves who are trying to be authors, right? And then you have voice actors who are single business owners themselves, and then you're doing this thing where there's no one has a lot of money. So that's a part of it, which has given rise, but there has been some changes over the years that we'll talk about. But first, let's kind of dive into how these audiobooks are priced. So the payment, the first way is called per finished hour, or PFH. And PFH is basically for every 9,300 words, which that was set by ACX, right? Whoa!
What happened?
Sorry. That light that fell down the other day keeps falling down. I've got to fix that.
Can we blame it on the ghosts?
Yes, it was. They were like, "Oh my gosh, here he goes with pricing." But anyways, so talking about pricing, this really is live, everybody. This isn't pre-recorded.
It is. It is.
So, all right, take 15. Now so what I was saying is that PFH. So basically, what we do is we charge per finished hour, and this is an important fact because we don't charge per hour we worked. We charge per hour that is finished. So the typical thing is 9,300 words equals one finished hour. And that one finished hour typically can take a voice actor between 3 to 6 hours. And some newer voice actors could be even way more than that per finished hour. So, there is a consideration in that when you are pricing your work. But so that's kind of how that works. And so basically, for example, earlier today, I had an author reach out to Academy Voices, and they said they had 70,000 word, 300-page book, and they wanted to get pricing on how much it would cost to do their book, right? So if we charge, let's just say we charge $250 per finished hour. Okay. If you extrapolate that out, basically what you would do is you would take 70,000 words, you would divide that by 9,300. Okay. And that gets you 7.5 hours basically.
Okay.
Right. And then what you do is you take that 7.5 hours and then you multiply that by $250. And that gives you around $1,875. So $1,875.
Okay.
That would be the cost, right? That you would generally quote if you were maybe like an independent, if you're a voice actor and you're quoting an author who wants to do per finished hour, and you are charging $250 per finished hour. Now, remember, that also includes, unless you say otherwise, right? That includes all of the editing, the mastering, unless you say otherwise. And I think that's an important thing, because what some people will do is say, I charge $200 per finished hour, and then I charge $50 for editing and mastering, but I have a person who does that. Are you okay over there?
I'm frozen again. I'm laughing at the ridiculous
unfroze. Face. Yes, you froze, unfroze. Oh, you can see yourself frozen?
I can't see myself frozen. Okay, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. All right. Like I said, I'm with you so far. I think that this is all great. What's next?
So what's next is about the per finished hour is that what do you charge? What do you actually charge per finished hour? What is the standard rate? What should you charge? What should you charge? Okay. And what do you see on ACX a lot? Or Academy Voices or different places, right? Well, right now, if you're like ACX from that standpoint, you're going to see everything from zero, like $1, right, up to $1,000. And
that is a big spread.
It's a massive spread. And the majority of the audiobooks, we're going to get to Royalty Share in a minute, and then Royalty Share Plus, which Royalty Share Plus is kind of maybe the latest innovation, if there has been some. But you generally, it's going to be between $0 and $100 per finished hour is what a lot of people are looking at. Because remember, when you're having independent publishers, which are usually going to be the authors, right? They don't have a lot of money. And we are, it's not like we're dealing with corporations here who have tons of money, you know what I mean? And that has always been somewhat of, and understandably, a gripe in the industry for people who work with audiobooks, is that you feel like you should, because an hour of work, you are literally making more of like a wage possibly that you would make working at a job. Whereas when you do like for example, someone that just messaged me and it was like a short, maybe 150 words, it was going to be like $400 or $500. So that's, because it was a commercial, they wanted, some limited broadcast stuff. So you know what I mean? So like that, whereas an audiobook for $400 to $500, if you're charging $50 per finished hour, I mean, that could be 10 to 20 hours of work. So, so, now why would someone in their rightful mind do that?
I'm doing this on purpose. I'm going to see if I can reset my camera.
It's like, everybody's, they're listening to me, but they're watching the Gabby show unfold over here with the camera. But I would say, why would someone do that? And I think the reason is that everybody understands here, if you're into audiobooks and is that we lost her. But anyways, let me keep going because she'll come back. Is that right? There is a lot of work available. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons why we, accept audiobook work, because it is easier to get audiobook work. It's probably one of the easiest, if not the easiest one to actually get. So hello, you're back.
I'm back. I'm trying.
Okay. All right. Let's see how long this puppy lasts.
I could hear everything though. I could hear everything you were saying. I'm still right here with you.
Good. All right. So that's kind of how we price. And what should you price? I think at this moment, right? If you are able to, and this is what I say probably about anything, right? Depending on where you are in your business, if you're able to choose, all right, some sort of rate between $200 to $300 per finished hour, that's a good rate. But is that what you're going to get a lot of? Absolutely not. Okay, I mean, unless
what do you think the average is?
It'd be closer to 100, 150.
Okay,
it'd be closer if you're doing just per finished hour.
Okay,
right? It'd be closer to 100, 150. Because again, you're dealing with people who don't have a lot of. Oh no, you froze again, and that's a funny face. What is going on? Oh, well, you're back.
I hate it here. I don't know.
You're back. So but that's per finished hour. Now, let's talk about royalty share because we do a lot of royalty share at Academy Voices, but we do it differently than ACX. And so basically, royalty share. The idea is that the author gives up their right to a certain amount of royalties for a certain period of time in order to pay for you taking risk up front with them, right? Because you're taking a risk, and they basically pay you a percentage of all of the sales that come in for royalties. So if an audiobook is selling for $1 and you're sharing let's say you're sharing 60% with the author, you get 30%, then you'd get 30 cents per sale if that's but again, it's not just 30 cents because you have to consider the retailer is going to take a fee, the middleman's going to take a fee, there's a bunch of fees. So you have to just be aware of all of that. But royalty share, and now ACX does 7 years. And when I started Academy Voices, I was like, I'm going to shove it. Let me say this. I'm going to do something different than ACX. So that's why we do 20 years. And I did that on purpose, and I did it with a vengeance because I felt very strongly that 7 years was not enough. Because the reality is a lot of the audiobooks that you do now with us, we have a lot of audiobooks that are very well known and things like that. So we do have ones that sell, but you're going to do a lot of audiobooks from ACX, possibly that no one's ever heard of, no one might ever hear of.
Right.
And you're just taking a chance. And 7 years really isn't that much. And I never liked the idea of doing a bunch of work and only get 7 years. 20 years, I mean, even 10 would be better than 7. But I think 20 years just drives it home for me. So basically for 20 years at Academy Voices, you get to share royalties with the author, and then on ACX it's like 7 years. But
now something that I've been learning as I've gotten more and more into this world of audiobooks with you, Anthony, is that there is a pretty big disparity between what the talent are making and all of these middle companies that are taking a cut. And it seems to me that we have this, I don't know, opportunity as an industry, maybe I'm being a little too politically minded in this, but it seems to me that it's ass backwards compared to the way it is in almost every other industry. Normally the talent receive 80 to 90% and everybody else gets a cut of 10 to 20. And in audiobooks it seems to be completely reversed. And
yes, it does.
I find it maddening, right? And I don't understand why, and maybe people don't know, maybe it's not, but I just find it so fascinating that even the union, nobody is stepping in to say, hey, wait a minute, this isn't cool.
So I think, yes. And I think a big thing that I think probably for the union and things like that and why they haven't done it is because we're, of course, Gabby's, of course, talking about royalty share. And, also talking about if, particularly places like Audible, who will take up to 75 and 80% of what you earn, right? And only give you that, 20, 25%. Now, it's about exclusivity with them. But what I was saying about the union is the union probably won't let you do royalty share. They will make you. I mean, I would assume because of the prices, they make you pay because there's very strict pricing. But you know more about that than I do.
Yes, but there are categories that allow for it, but there is also an upfront fee.
Right.
But it's still it.
Yeah. So yeah. But Audible is the absolutely egregious elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the retailers usually take about 55 to 60% of it and then split the rest, with you.
But Audible is the largest.
But Audible is exactly, and they are just it's a monopoly.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, they have but they, but I think Spotify, I really like Spotify. And every time I turn around too, Audible's taken or an Amazon's taken something away from affiliate stuff too. I mean, it's just,
I
know what I mean? And if you look at, they just came out with numbers, and their numbers again are through the roof. They came out with their earnings are up and up and up because I think they keep just cutting and taken from people. But the reality of it is what do you get? I mean, that unless you have some sort of law that's passed that says that you can't do that. But here's the thing. Audible ACX allows you to sign exclusivity with them, basically meaning that they will keep 60% and you keep 40%. But that means you cannot publish your work anywhere else but Audible.
Right.
You can't put it on Spotify. You can't share with libraries.
Ridiculous.
You can't share with anywhere else.
Ridiculous.
Right? Exactly. And so if you decide to do that, then Audible takes 75% and you get 25%.
Real quick, we have a comment, not so much a question, but I think it's a really important one. Christian Carlson said, 20 years is quite a long time. Right. It may be enough time for people to fall in love with my voice and buy all the content I've made before the time limit. Yes. I mean, right? Like, isn't that the goal for any, like, if you see yourself as an audiobook narrator, if you see yourself as part of the engine of content creation on a larger scale, right? That's exactly it. You're building a sub-library of your work as a narrator, and you have the potential to have fans, and those fans will go and seek out the other work that you've done. This is a very real thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think, Christian, one of the reasons why I said it at 20 years was for the point of I wanted myself and other voice actors to be able to build a portfolio of royalties that actually will continue to pay you for a long portion of your business, right? Not something that just goes away after a few years. And, I think that's, that to me, that's a big thing. Now, I will say this. If we do a project with authors, so we have our in-house work is 20%. Our author work is 10 years. I'm sorry, our in-house is 20 years. Our authors are
understood. Okay. Right. Because that's kind of standard, more or less.
Right. Well, we're more, and we do more. We do 10 years instead of 7.
Okay.
For author work, our in-house work, we do 20. Which, right now is about 80% of our portfolio still, but we're growing with more authors now. Separate authors as well. So, but yeah, I love that. I did want to say something real quick. Joy, thank you. Yes, I'm doing okay. Still working on some stuff at home, but I am here, which is good.
You're a trooper.
Which is good. Yes. Thank you very much. So I think the other thing I wanted to chat about, you guys, was it was kind of I'd say innovation, but this was something that was happening and ACX caught on, and then they added it in, but it wasn't them who invented it. It was voice actors, and the idea, well, I wouldn't say it was voice actors and authors or whatever. So the idea is called Royalty Share Plus. It's what they named it.
Okay.
So basically it's Royalty Share plus a payment up front. And what would happen would be is that it say, hey, look, I can't pay you $250 per finished hour, but I could pay you $50 per finished hour because that's all I have. But, and you're like, well, I can't do it for $50 an hour. And they're like, well, can you do it for that and royalty share? And someone's like, okay, well, that's fair because at least the $50, per finished hour will pay somewhat for the production cost possibly. And then we can share royalties for profit wise.
And that's a little bit closer to how the union does it in a sense, right? Because you're receiving an upfront fee, but then you're also receiving royalties, residuals.
Right. And I think a lot of us have no issue with that. That's a nice thing. But I typically find that it's not as robust, like there's not as many people doing it as I would like. I mean, as authors do it, because a lot of times most of the authors, a lot of them are just they got nothing.
Right.
And they're just
they have a wing and a prayer and they're trying to get it done. Yeah,
exactly. So and someone told them it might be it's good for you to have an audiobook,
right?
And they're trying to figure it out. So but there is but don't get me wrong, there is a lot of there's a lot of per finished hour work as well. It's just just like anything else, it's understanding the differences between them is very important, and then how you should charge for them, because in the end I always feel like if you were to do a 3-hour audiobook and you charge $50 per finished hour, that's $150, and then it takes you 10 hours to do the book spread over 2 weeks, and you made $150, some people would gawk at that and be like, that's just absolutely ridiculous. How could you charge something like that? To me, if you have no work, especially if you're newer too, I mean, you got paid to do voiceover. And the weird thing about audiobooks, what I was saying, what's different from anything else, is it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter whether you're on Fiverr or you're going through Penguin Random House Audio or you're with Academy Voices. I mean, Penguin Random House Audio, they're paying $150 to $200 per finished hour. They're not. I mean, it's not. You're not seeing, unless you are like a famous person, and they pay you like a lump sum of money to do the job.
Right.
You're not gonna. It is what it is. That's the pricing of audiobooks, because again, which is okay. So Gabby, I will say this. What I will say is, I do agree with you. I feel in a way some of that needs to start to change, because there is I mean, we're all talking about how but I do think it's the number one published media in a way, because it's so cheap for people still. They're paying so
maybe
little.
We got to write some letters, man. I'm telling you, we might need to, Emmeline has a great question. Love this. So with PFH, per finished hour, if you've got a book that's 8 hours and 20 minutes, whatever that divvy is, right, that increment, do you round it? Yeah, what do you do?
So what I usually do is I will actually do that calculation I just gave you, and I'll do one of two things. I will do it exactly how much it costs, like down to the penny, or I'll round it up.
Okay.
But you know what I mean?
How do you determine when?
That's totally depending upon you.
Okay.
And your business decision. If you want to be, so let's say you said you've got 8 hours and 29 minutes. All right. And you are charging, let's say you're charging $200 per finished hour. That's $1,658. I would charge $1,658. But you could say I charge you $1,700. You could do that. You know what I mean? What are they gonna? I mean, because here's the thing: the 9,300 words, you might read faster. You might read slower.
Truth.
You might get 10,000 words in a finished hour, or you might get 9,000 words in a finished hour. It is just an average. That's why we don't do like a lot of e-learning, which is charged per word. Right, they'll charge per word, and we don't do that because it scales pretty crazy for e-learning. But we're doing audiobooks, so
that's good to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that about does it for us for today.
Yes, very good. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the last thing to say is that all of this that we are, that you're doing with audiobooks, and I think your business in general, I'd say, is that you want to have a good mix of all these things, at least in my opinion. You want to have royalties on your books, right? And here's a little thing about royalty share. royalty share is not a one and done thing. Meaning, don't just do one. Do as many as you can. Okay, because that adds up. I love your face, Gabby. Gabby, are you there?
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Yeah. Your face, your face, the facial expression was frozen again.
No, I'm here. Funny. I was just listening.
That's the freeze frame we needed. I know, right? But yeah, so again, I would say the reason why I say do as many as you can, because you know it stacks, and it really does help, because then all you need one of those to hit. You know, I mean, again, I always tell a story about, you know, one of our voice actors did a 19-minute audiobook that pays him, you know, $400 to $600 every payday for like 20 years.
Blah, blah, blah.
And that's not going to go away, because it's not a story that will ever go out of fashion. So
that's amazing.
You know, like it right. You never know. I mean, of 19 minutes.
Yeah.
And he will make more money on that for years and years and years to come than, I mean, no offense, probably anything that he will do. Because it's just a great, I mean, that just happens, right? So anyways.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. All right, gang. You guys, you have a wonderful day. It's good seeing you. We'll be back tomorrow.
Open Forum Friday.
Open Forum Friday. See you guys then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.